Hi. Hello, everybody. How are you? I am live from Brussels. Welcome. Thank you, Cindy, for having me. My name is Alice Vanessa Bever. I am currently doing a tour where I am doing a combination of performing as well as doing interviews about people in the 30-something generation. That would be me. I was born in 1979, so that's where the project got its name. I'm very excited. I just did my first salon, which was on Saturday. Cindy participated as well. Basically, we got a group of people. There were 11 different countries represented with 11 different people in one living room. And we had different groups, musical and performative groups, live streamed into our own salon. So that was very exciting. And I'm off to London tomorrow. So I guess I'm at the point of the trip where it's a halfway point. I met Cindy in Indianapolis, where I did the first Project 1979 with a group of maybe 10 people, I think. And I actually directed it. I didn't perform it and let them take over. And from what they did, I'm using that in my performances. I stole it, some of those things. How to interact with Project 1979 is something that's evolving, absolutely. It started out with me having an idea back in, October of last year, and I started kind of telling people about this idea I had, and I started a Facebook page, and then started asking questions on my Facebook page about thoughts about nostalgia, favorite TV shows, favorite movies, quotes. Do you remember Trapper Keepers? And so people can and still interact that way. I do try to keep that fairly up to date. I ask questions, and recently the questions on my page have been a little bit more specific and maybe a little less based on nostalgia. Recently asked about student loans. Got some really good feedback about that. You can connect by as little as you want. So it was interesting doing the salon. There were people that don't usually, respond to these kind of shout-outs that I do, or via the blog. Sometimes people write in on the blog. But the people that were watching, there were quite a few people that were watching that were from some places in the world and people that I hadn't really heard from. I didn't know that they were actually connecting that way. So you can connect by just watching things unfold, or you can also connect to the Facebook page, the blog, or you can make a video and tell me why this certain thing is important to you as a person being from the 30-something generation. Who I want to participate in this project, you viewers out there. There's only one viewer, but the people that watch this, everyone is obviously welcome to see how this experiment in itself is really exciting. You don't have to be in your 30s to participate. However, to really be part of it, I think I'm looking for those who are in the age range, or are in their 30s right now, or in their late 20s. The reason why I'm targeting that group, I mean that in a very good way, not scary, is because the Generation X doesn't really apply to people who were born in 1979 or a little before or a little after. And we actually came across that in the salon. People were there, mostly my age, and there was somebody who was born in 1971. And he enjoyed the show, but he said that he felt it was very, it was something that he was missing out in. And so he really didn't get a lot, some of the, not just nostalgia, but the idea of technology in his life, and how I believe, technology grew up with us, and all of these other these milestones, these markers that were affecting us. So when I'm looking for participants, I'm looking for everyone. I have been amazed by the range already, and I guess this is 10 months now, like about 10 months. People who are from Afghanistan, Iran, Sweden, so all Japan, England, Italy. Now it really does have this international feel, but people that are professional artists, and people who are writers, people who are mothers, and people who are business people. I mean, I'm interested in connecting people. That's the goal, is connecting people who are willing to tell their story or interested in hearing other people's stories. And sometimes that includes me doing an interview with them, and sometimes it has involved them making a video for me, and sometimes it's just by, people, like I said, watching. So the participants I'm targeting are those who are interested in seeing what brings us together. What is the sense of belonging, if there is one at all, to a greater generation? Is that a good answer? I hope so. Okay. So the surprising thing that I have found, that's a great question. Thank you, Cindy. Okay, so I'll answer that in this way. I have really, it gives me chills to think about it in a very cheesy, authentic, cheesy though way, is sometimes when I put a question out there and I get all these responses from people who do not know each other. And sometimes they're all American, and often they're not. And so you're having already in this microcosm, and this happens in Facebook all the time, so it's not that I think Project 1979 exclusively does this, but it's beautiful to see all these people responding to something. Something spoke to them, and it may be about their favorite song, but something was significant enough for them, and they're starting a conversation, not just by responding, but then amongst them are starting to talk about, oh, wait, did you remember this and this and that? And I love that. But I think that the interviews I've been doing, I ask 9 questions, the same 9 questions to a lot of different people. And at the moment, I'm a little backlogged because I have been doing this and doing the other things, like the show and the promotion of the show and keeping things going. I haven't been able to publish the interviews at the volume at which I have them, but they are coming. That's been very interesting to see how those 9 questions, how people can answer them so differently. And I guess I'll speak about the most recent ones I did. And one was a guy, a man, I guess, a young man, who plays for Los Colorados, which is a Ukrainian band. They're wonderful, so you should check them out. It was definitely happenstance. I didn't plan on, getting to meet them. But super cool, was at a concert, and they play 90s mainly, not always. They do some Katy Perry too. That's what made them kind of famous. But they do polka versions of 90s music, and in Ukrainian and English. So it's like very amazingly weird, and they're great. And so I was talking to him about doing this quick interview with him, and one of the questions I asked is there a song or a band or an album that you feel either represents your adolescence or you really feel tied to because of something? And he said AC/DC Back to Black. And he said that, growing up in Ukraine, obviously we did talk about the whole, the way his life changed after 1989. But what he said is, he had heard them, and he really wanted to hear all of the CD, and so he, he went to, saved up his money in some way for a long time, until the AC/DC Back to Black wasn't really, it was definitely already kind of a relic, but anyway, he bought it, and it was very, very expensive for the time, and then his parents were really angry at him, and like, how could you do that? And it was a very simple question, but it told a volume of someone's life, of what that meant to him. because there wasn't, at that time for him, going to a CD store wasn't really possible. And they were, it was just very, same kind of need for music, but the way you had to go about it was very different. One other thing is, I guess, more than the music is, I did the same question, and I said, what is your, I asked this guy, he's a refugee, Farhad. He is from Afghanistan. He's actually a musician, but right now he's still playing music, but he's had to leave Afghanistan. And I asked him, I hope I still have good connection. Everybody, can you hear me? See you? Yeah? Okay. Anyway, I asked him if he could go back in time, what would he get from the past? What was it? And he said, nothing. I have nothing, and I don't want anything. And we didn't go any further about that, but we both kind of had this very interesting connection, and we're both kind of crying that didn't talk about it. And same question, somebody talked about a T-shirt, and that's what he talked about. So my favorite questions. Okay, so what are my list of my favorite questions? I guess if you mean my favorite questions, well, I like to ask people what inspires them. So, what inspires you? I ask people what it took to get where they are today. What is another question? If you had advice for an 18-year-old, what would it be? That's an awesome question. Last Saturday, a lot of people said to travel. My favorite one was Carpe Diem. Cindy, I'm sure you remember, but there were some really good answers from that in Indianapolis. I can't remember now, but Layla had a good answer. So I guess that's what I'll have to, but I mean, there's a few other questions, but I also love asking people, about their first kiss. Because that's totally universal, I think. Most people have had a kiss by this point. Why did I want to do Project 1979, and why did I want it to be interactive? For a few reasons. I recently someone's like, well, why do you want to do this? You need a better soundbite, which is definitely true. Evan, if you watch this, you'll be happy that I'm telling you this. But anyway, you need a better soundbite because, yeah, okay, I know you want to do this, but why? And it is personal. I felt like I was frustrated. I've been paying my student loans religiously for 11 years. And I have paid close to $20,000, and I am very, very, very little of, I've paid very little of my principal. And I feel that that in itself, I felt very angry about. And I felt like I didn't have a bailout and all these things, I'm feeling very apathetic. But I also thought that wasn't really going to work for me to be apathetic, so I wanted to feel like, but yeah, I still have done some things with my life. Okay, that's great, but where are we going to find inspiration? And where is this sense of belonging? And I started also thinking I do belong to a generation because I think it hasn't been named, but it is a very special time of people being born in that time. A lot of things happened, and I am proud of the people I know who, in spite of whatever, are doing great work in whatever capacity that is, be it because of student loans or because of something else, even greater with war or whatnot. That people are still creating things and still having faith in the human beingness that they are. And I felt like, how do you connect people? How can you belong? And this story, my story is boring in a way. I mean, yeah, I have my life story, but if it's about a generation, then the generation needs to speak, not me. I can facilitate it, and I can also be the person that performs flash dance. And I'm really happy with that. But however, I don't think that I don't think it's about me. It's about me making this happen, and I want these conversations to start, and so it needed to be interactive. And what seems to be happening now is that there's more interactions, I guess right now with the performances and whatnot are happening, but my goal is that it will become a real place where people can feel a sense of identity, not necessarily cultural, not necessarily anything other than you identify with these people. So I want people to feel like they have the freedom to tell their own story, not mine, but their own story, and see what we have in common, and how can we have a laugh about who we are, and also how can we be a source of strength and solidarity for what we are doing and what we've done with our beautiful lives. So yes. So I thank you for watching this. I thought that I would show you Brussels, if that's interesting. I don't know. I hope it is. Before I say and show you Brussels and whatnot, please look at the links. Please follow Project 1979 on Twitter, on the Facebook page, and the website as well, and the blog. So you can't go wrong, and those things are updated every day. So the blog, not so much. Blogs, unfortunately, right now it's about 2 times a week or once, but hopefully I'll be taking on someone who can help me with that soon. So anyway, check that out, and please, 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 please check out CindyMarieJenkins.com. She's doing so much wonderful work for the world of theater and for women and storytellers, and just I love what she is trying to do with. Yes, okay. Hi. So we're just going to take a little trip, and we can say hi to my friends. Who's okay? Yeah. This is Brussels. Sorry, it's really dark. Okay. Yes. Okay. Hi. So sorry. This is hi. It's almost done. Okay. These are. Oops. Hold on. We'll say this is Brussels. Yeah. Yeah. And it's very beautiful. And this has been a really great place to be for the last couple days. I'm going to London tomorrow, and that'll be exciting too. Stay tuned. And thank you for being part of Beyond the Blurb. And I wish you a wonderful day, evening. Bye.